underway in high school football week number 9. The boot is made, and it's a squibber downfield, and it's going to be picked up by Haluma. Fumbled at the 5. He picks it up at the 10, looks for a running room at the 15, and whammo! He is nailed before he gets to his own 15-yard line. That was number 2, Eric Bryant, who made the stick on Oliver Haluma, and that was really a bone-jarring tackle, and the Dragons start 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Not very good field position to start off with.
No, you know, Jim, it goes back to what we were talking about. You know, we've already drawn a bloody foot, and this is not a team you want to draw a bloody foot from.
All righty, 1st and 10 for the Dragons on their own 12-yard line. In the power I formation, handoff to the tailback, that is Oliver Haluma, and he catapults forward, maybe gaining a couple of yards, but it's short of the 15-yard line. The tackle was made by number 16, Bain, and Haluma just took the handoff and catapulted over the line. It looked like a touchdown dive more than a first down play.
Well, you know, you drive that ball up the middle, and then they're sticking in there pretty thick, and they've got some rather large lads in there. I was watching them when they took the field. Terrence Constant is a moose. I mean, he's huge, and then you've got number 50, I believe 51, David Chung. Neither one of those have missed too many meals, I wouldn't think.
Power I formation once again, and the handoff goes to the first running back through there, and he gains a couple of yards, giving 3 or 4 up the middle, and that looks like that's going to be, I believe, Craig Stewart. Craig Stewart in the backfield. We haven't seen a lot of him this year, but out of the power I formation, the give was to Stewart, and he came forward for about 5-yard gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 1. The ball rests at the Dragon 20-yard line, 3rd and about 1 yard to go. Actually, they're going to bring it in and measure. I thought it was about a yard away, but it looks like it's close enough to request a measurement, and they bring the chains in and they stretch it, and they say it's about a half a yard short. So the Dragons will face 3rd and short on their first offensive set here in this ball game. 0-0 is your score in the early going from Cleveland High School in Bradley County, Tennessee.
I think one of the keys that Jim, what you're saying is I think we're running at, you know, you watch them on television talking about you running at them. I think this is a situation where we know we don't have the speed to run around them. We're going to have to go right at them, go, you know, inside the tackles and hope that our offensive line can do the job.
Quarterback sneak, and that's Brennan Jones edging off left tackle and nudges the ball forward, and that's going to be enough yardage for the first down. Yes, indeed, he edges the ball forward enough for the first down for the Dragons. So on the Dragons' first attempt, they make their first down. Good omen for you Clinton fans. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. The ball rests at the Clinton 23-yard line, facing a 4-man defensive front from the Blue Raiders. The Dragons deploy themselves once again in the power I formation. We haven't seen that much at all this year. Brennan Jones is your quarterback. Long count. Handoff on the misdirection play. He comes forward. That's Stewart on the counter play, and he gets a couple of hard-earned yards. Big number 77 was in there on the tackle. That's Terrence Constant, and there is a lot of Terrence Constant. He is a big man, and he made the hit on Stewart just as he came forward.
Jim, I noticed on their team, they don't have a lot more players than we have as far as numbers, and they're graduating a pot full of people. This may be a team that I know, like you said, they reload here rather than rebuild, but this is still a team that he's got to play some young players to build himself up, I think.
A reverse to Brittle across the wide side, and looks for a running room. He gets it up to 25, up to the 30, and good run by Jeremy Brittle. He's finally knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field by number 4, Carlos Thompson. But Brittle had some running room, and he came forward as he turned the corner, and it looks like it's going to be close to enough yardage for the first down. They eye it, and they say 1st and 10 for the Dragons. The ball rests at the Clinton 35-yard line. So 1st and 10, let's call it the 34. 1st and 10 for the Clinton Dragons on the Jeremy Brittle reverse from the wing-back position.
Did you see that block that Woody Hill threw a block over on the corner and knocked the guy right on his derriere and really made that play go?
Power I formation once again for the Dragons, and anticipating the snap count, one of the Blue Raiders goes charging into the Clinton backfield, and it's going to be a 5-yard step off against the Blue Raiders, so that's going to move the ball up to the Clinton 39-yard line. So that situation will call for 1st and 5 for the Dragons, and that was a well-selected word there, Doctor. Derriere. You've been studying your dictionary this week.
Been working. I've got my thesaurus out, and I'm ready to thesaurus.
I thought you'd been listening to me.
Well, that too.
All righty, 1st and 5 for the Dragons. They have the ball on their own 39-yard line. No score in this ball game. Hand off to the fullback up the middle, and he hits the line hard, but not much yardage there. I believe that was, let's check and see who the ball carrier was. That was Tommy Thomason, I believe. Tommy Thomason on the carry, and he's hit hard there by number 53, Lee Barnell. For the Blue Raiders, he gains maybe about a yard, but not much. Edges it just over the Dragon 40-yard line. So the Dragons will have it there 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4 situation for the Clinton Dragons. We have, looking for this. Okay, here we go. 8:22 left. I was looking for the scoreboard, Philip. I couldn't find it there for a minute. Finally located.
You were leaving there. I didn't know.
8 minutes left in this first quarter, and a little swing pitch to Oliver Halula, and doesn't gain much yardage at all. He gets about a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 situation for the Dragons. And the going is tough on this set of downs. The Dragons had it 1st and 5, and on 2 attempts they've gained but 2 yards. So 3rd and 3 for Clinton. No score in this ball game. 7:50 left in this first period. The Dragons have the ball, took the opening kickoff, and have earned a couple of first downs. Haven't had to kick the ball to the Blue Raiders yet in this ball game. Critical down here for the Dragons. Back to the power I formation on the near sideline. Handoff looking for a runner, dancing and darting forward is Oliver Haluma. He stretches his body. Number 77 made the tackle. That's Terrence Constance. And Oliver Haluma made a good move at the line of scrimmage and twists forward. And they line it up and say 1st and 10 for the Dragons from the power I formation. Once again, the Dragons earn another first down. It's right at, let's see, I believe it's right at the 45-yard line. 45-yard line of Clinton. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. No score in this game. 7 minutes and 10 ticks left in this first quarter. Back to the power I formation for Clinton. Pitch to the short side, looks for runner room. That's Haluma, finds a little bit, dances and darts and scampers his way up close to midfield before he is knocked out of bounds there rather roughly by Lee Varnell. Also number 81, that is Abu Swafford for the Blue Raiders. A bevy of Blue Raiders in on the tackle.
I was trying to find a good name for you to come, so I came up with that Abu that time. I thought you kind of cheated on me. You got where you were on a roll on that one guy, and I thought we'd throw in a new name for you there, Jimmy.
Trying to throw me a curve, Doctor. 5-yard gain on first down. 2nd and 5 for the Dragons. The ball is just over the midfield stripe. Brian Fox hammers forward, and he gets a couple of, let's call it 3 hard-earned yards. He is knocked back by Demetrius Smith, and that's something you don't see. Brian Fox took the handoff. Usually he's knocking the tacklers back, but in this case, number 8, Demetrius Smith, knocked Brian Fox back. That's something we haven't seen much of this year, but he did gain 3 yards on that 2nd down try, so it's going to bring up 3rd and a long one, 3rd and a long one, or 3rd and a short 2 for the Dragons, and it rests at the Blue Raider 46-yard line. No score in this game, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Handoff to the first man through, that's Brian Fox, and he hammers inside the 45-yard line down to the 44, and that's going to be enough yardage for the Blue Raider first down. All righty, check that. That was Craig Stewart on the carry, not Fox. So give Craig Stewart the credit there on that first down try, or on that 3rd down try, resulting in a first down for the Dragons. So let's set the stage here. 5 minutes and 33 seconds left in this first period. No score. The Dragons has taken the opening kickoff and has marched downfield crisply, mostly from that power I formation. They are now 1st and 10 on the Blue Raider 44-yard line. Misdirection play. That is, I believe that's Brian Fox powering his way forward on the misdirection play, and it's inside the 45 down to about the 42-yard line before he is knocked out of bounds by Demetrius Bryant for the Blue Raiders. A good 4-yard pickup there for the Dragons. The ball rests squarely on the Blue Raider 40-yard line. 2nd and 6 for the Dragons. And 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in this first period, and this has been a time-consuming drive for Clinton. All of the first period they have occupied the ball. Back to the power I formation, 2nd and 6 for Clinton. Brennan Jones, handoff, that looks to be Thompson, nudging the ball forward, and he drags a Cleveland Blue Raider along the way. A number 52, Jason Deaver, took a ride on the back of the Clinton Dragon, and he hauls him forward for a 4-yard pickup. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for the Dragons. The ball rests at the 37-yard line of the Blue Raiders.
You notice we've only got one wide receiver in the game, and our fullback, Craig Stewart, and it's, my gosh, it's good to have old Craig back. You know, he's been out with a little case of the mono, and so it's good to have him back out on the field because he's a good athlete, and we need to have him out there. But he and Brian Fox are all named the plays. Tommy Thomason is in the game primarily because he's a great blocker. And, you know, as you said right there, he was able to carry a Blue Raider on his back, and I guarantee you that boy probably outweighed him 20 pounds. He got the leverage. Tommy's an extremely smart young man. He's a 4.0 student in all the advanced placement courses, and he's tough. So Tommy's a good kid to have out on the field.
3rd and 2 for the Dragons. 3rd and 2 for the Dragons. Handoff up the middle, and he goes powering forward, and looks to be enough yardage for the Clinton first down. Let's check and see who the ball carrier was. That was Brian Fox on the carry. That was a quick hitter up the middle, and Brian Fox powered his way through there. The tackle was made by Terrence Constance as he nails him to the turf, but not before he gets first down yardage. 1st and 10 for the Dragons on a crisply run offensive set here. They have occupied the ball the whole first quarter. No score. 1st and 10 for the Dragons on the Blue Raider 31-yard line. Back to the power I formation. Handoff or pitch to the tailback. Looks for running room. That's Jeremy Brittle, and a fumble. No, that is Oliver Haluma, and he fumbles the ball. But luckily for the Dragons, it goes ricocheting out of bounds. So we'll see where they spot it. At first, I thought that was a Brittle, but it was Oliver Haluma on the carry. He was hit hard right after he got the pitch, but he fumbled the ball. The ball ricocheted out of bounds and ricocheted forward. Luckily for the Dragons, and it is enough yardage for the first down, so the Dragons dodge a big bullet right there.
Right. Demetrius Smith made the classical error. Instead of trying to dive on the ball, he tried to pick it up, and when he did, he just bounced the ball out of bounds. Never having possession. It's the last team with possession has the ball.
1st and 10 on the Blue Raider 15-yard line, and the first man through there, the fullback, gets the handoff, and he is hammered in the backfield. That's Tommy Thomason, hit hard by number 56. That is Nicholas Brown, also Lee Varnell, number 53 there, and he got hit before he really got untracked at all. So about a half a yard loss on that first down attempt for Clinton, but nevertheless, they have the ball in scoring position. It is 2nd and 11 for the Dragons on the Blue Raider 15, let's call it the 16-yard line. No score in this ball game. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first period. Back to the power I for the Dragons. Long count facing a 5-man defensive front from Cleveland, and a whistle comes, a flag comes flying out of the pocket of the official, and it looks like the Blue Raiders may sustain a penalty, and that is indeed the situation. A 5-yard step off against the Blue Raiders for offside, so another critical error for the Blue Raiders, and that's going to give the Dragons a 5-yard pickoff down, or 5-yard step off, I should say, down to the Blue Raider 11-yard line. So there it will be 2nd and 6 for Clinton, just outside the Blue Raider 10, let's call it the 11-yard line. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in this first quarter. No score, handoff. That's Brian Fox, and he comes knifing over the left side. Now check that. That's Craig Stewart from the fullback position. And he comes knifing over the right side, nudging the ball inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line. Good pickup there on that second down attempt. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for the Dragons. And the Dragons have executed exceptionally well on this drive, Philip.
They really have, Jim. We've consumed almost 10 minutes of the clock, and you know, it's been about 3.5 yards a pop. So fine job. I think the line's done a really splendid job so far of kicking those holes open.
Power I formation. The Dragons hand off, and he goes inside the 5, inside the 4, down to the 1-yard line goes that ball carry, and that was Brian Fox on the carry, and he bursts his way up the middle and roars down to the Blue Raider 1-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the Dragons, taking the opening kickoff and driving it on the ground from the power I set. Only one wide receiver in the game. That gives them 3 running backs, and they have just overpowered the Blue Raiders in surprising fashion. 1st and goal from the Blue Raider 1-yard line. Here comes Brennan Jones. Handoff to Haluma. He dives up and over for the Dragon. Touchdown. Give him 6. Touchdown, Clinton Dragons. At the 1:18 mark of the first period, the Dragons take the opening kickoff and occupy almost 11 minutes of the first quarter, almost the entire first quarter, and they take it to pay dirt. Touchdown, Dragons. 6-0 is your score.
Okay, and we're getting ready to go for the extra point. Chris Bishop, young man's going to be holding, and we've got, who's kicking out there, Steve? It's Brittle. Yeah, Jeremy Brittle's kicking, and he's going to be kicking out of some of that sand. Nice kick. Yes. And one more, extend the score, 7-0 Dragons.
We'll take a timeout. This is AM 1380 WYSH. We'll be back in 1 minute. Now. The Dragons set to kick off. Squibs one downfield, picked up by number 7. That is Tennell Hudgens. On the squib kick, picks it up and rams it forward to about the 32-yard line. The tackle was made by the ever-present linebacker Brian Fox. 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders on their first offensive set as the Dragons take the opening kickoff all the way down the field, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, about an 88-yard drive for the Dragons. Good offensive execution. 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders on their first offensive set. They have the ball on their own 34-yard line. Your quarterback is number 1, Tez Davis. He hands off, or pitches, I should say, to Dante Hickey, and he comes over to the 35 and pounds it forward to the 37-yard line. Your tackle was made by, let's check and see, I believe it was Jordan Holbrook in there from his linebacker position. It's going to be about a 4-yard pickup as he steps it off to about the 37-yard line. So 2nd and 6 for the Blue Raiders.
Nice move. Looks like we're going to try to keep them running inside with the kind of team speed they have. You and I alluded to before the game started. We've got to keep them inside. We can't let them turn corners.
Wing T formation, handoff to the first man through. That is Carlos Thompson, and he is tattooed right as he reaches the 40-yard line. Let's see who that was. That was Sean Smith, and he looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He came up there and blitzed Carlos Thompson, the running back. He gets a couple of yards, but that was hard-earned yards as Smith just absolutely tattooed him right at the 40-yard line. So 3rd and 4 for the Blue Raiders as time has expired here in the first quarter. So at the end of one stanza from Bradley County, 7-0 is your score in favor of the Clinton Dragons. It's AM 1380. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Clinton Home Center is your...
Back here at Cleveland High School, and the 3rd down attempt, a reverse attempt by Dante Hickey is nailed in the backfield for a loss, and I believe that was Brian Martin along with Brian Fox on the tackle there. Smelled it from the word go, a 2-yard loss on that reverse attempt. That's going to bring up 4th and 5 for the Blue Raiders. They have the ball on their own 39-yard line, so they're going to be in punt formation. Number 26, that is Joe Cordero, will do the honors. And back deep is Matthew McGee, and the punt is a short one. It pops up right in the air, takes a Blue Raider hop, though. It hits at the Dragon 45 and rolls all the way down to the Dragon 31-yard line. So that punt traveled about 10 yards in the air and about 15 yards after it hit. So what looked to be terrific field position for the Dragons turns out to be, I would say, adequate field position. 1st and 10 for the Dragons on their own 31-yard line, and 3 downs and out for the vaunted Blue Raider offense. The Dragon defenders come to life here early in the second period. 7-0 is your score in favor of Clinton. They have the ball on their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
I noticed on that 3rd down play that they had just a second ago, Jim, I heard Coach Holbrook tell me, watch for the reverse, watch for the reverse. And darn if they just didn't walk up there with the reverse. That's the kind of play we want to see. That's not the kind of play we want to see on offense. We ran to the weak side of the field, didn't get anybody blocked on that side, and Oliver didn't gain but a yard. We can't go a yard. We've got to go 3.5, 4 yards every pop.
Nudges it forward for a 1-yard gain, so 2nd and 9 on that counter attempt by Oliver Haluma. Picks up just a yard. 7-0 is your score in favor of the visiting Dragons. They have it 2nd and 9 on their own 31-yard line. Handoff, that looks to be the tailback, at least I believe that was Thomason. Let's check and see who that tailback was as he nudges it forward. That was Tommy Thomason as he pounds it forward for about a 3-yard pickup. Bain was there on the tackle for the Blue Raiders. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Dragons.
Jim, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but the Blue Raiders started out the ball game in a 4-man defensive line. If you notice right now, they're playing a 5-man line, and Clinton had a 21-play drive that last time.
21-play drive. Incredible drive for the Dragons. Back to the power I formation. A pass across the middle, and it is overthrown. It was intended for a slanting Alan Wink, and he was wide open, but the pass was ever so slightly overthrown, and he just goes skittering off the end of his fingertips, incomplete on that 3rd down attempt. So that's going to bring up 4th and long for the Dragons. The ball is at the Dragon 34-yard line. And tight end Alan Wink was wide open for 1st down yardage, but simply overthrown. So the Dragons will be in punting formation, and Jeremy Brittle will do the honors for the Dragons. A duo of Blue Raiders back deep to receive the punt, and the punt is underway. A wobbly spiral downfield, relatively short, hits and rolls out of bounds at the Blue Raider 42-yard line. So excellent field position on the short punt from the Dragons. So the Blue Raiders, facing a 7-0 deficit, will start out on their 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. 7-0 is your score in favor of the Dragons. 9:31 left in this 2nd period.
Jim, I hate to let this, but really, Brennan's rushing that throw. He did the same thing last week a number of times where he, instead of throwing the ball, he just wants to snap it out there. You can't do that. You've got to deliver that ball. You've got to throw it straight on. You've got a big play here. See you later.
Hand off to Dante Hickey around the right side. He's to the 30, to the 20. He's going to take it all the way. Let's see, check that is a 58-yard touchdown sprint for the big man. Dante Hickey, the senior, takes it home on the wingback reverse out of the wing T formation. And I tell you what, once he broke the line of scrimmage, he turned on the jets, and no Dragon could catch him. So a touchdown gallop, let's call it 58 yards for the Blue Raiders, and they strike like lightning at the 9:21 mark of the 2nd period.
It interests me. I was reading an article in the Sentinel about a week ago when they were talking about the leading players in the state of Tennessee, and that young man's name wasn't on the list. They missed their extra point.
The extra point is up, and it is wide to the right. So 7-6 is your score. This is AM 1380 WYSH. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back deep is, I believe that is Haluma, and he collects it at the 5-yard line. Up over the 10 to the 15 to the 20-yard line. He pounds it forward close to the 25, possibly beyond, who at the 26-yard line. The tackle is going to be made by number 53 there, Lee Varnell, for the Blue Raiders, and they line it up at the Dragon 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for Clinton. 7-6 is your score in favor of the Dragons.
And good job, Oliver. Just take that ball right up behind your wedge. Now, we need Brennan to come out here and do a better job of delivering the ball when he's got open receivers, because we are going to have to throw some. This team is too athletically, outmans us too well athletically for us not to think we're going to just run up and down the field on them. We're going to have to throw the ball.
Power I formation, handoff to Brian Fox. He hammers and pounds and twists and just drags Blue Raider after Blue Raider for 1st down yardage. That's Eric Bryant that finally brought him down. But Eric Bryant, the Blue Raider, took a 5-yard ride on the back of Brian Fox as he single-handedly made a hole there on the right side and took it for a 10-yard pickup. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons. A superb run there by Brian Fox. It rests squarely at the Dragon 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Dragons own the lead. They also own the ball. 7-6 is your score in favor of Clinton. Back to the power I formation. Haluma tries to make a miss in the backfield, but the second man nails him in the backfield was number 53, Lee Varnell. He disrupted the play, and the final stop was made, I believe, by Demetrius Bryant, and that is about a 1-yard loss on that attempt by Haluma. And let's see, they mark it back to the 39-yard line. So 2nd and 11 for the Dragons. They own the ball. They also own the lead. 7-6 is your score in favor of the Dragons. 7:50 left in this second quarter. Back to the power I formation. Misdirection play. That's Stewart, and he pounds forward. Not much yardage there. Number 16, Bain, was there for the Blue Raiders, along with a bevy of Blue Raiders, including Terrence Constant, number 77, and that man must go at least 250. We don't have any statistics as far as weight and size, but that man must go at least 250. He is a big man on the defensive front for the Blue Raiders.
He's a bevy by himself, Jim. You know, that man stands in the middle. It takes some meat to move him out of the way.
3rd and long, 3rd and 10 for the Dragons. They have the ball on their own 40-yard line. They have the lead also. 7-6 is your score. Back to the power I formation for Clinton. Running down the line of scrimmage, the option play, he pitches it to Brittle. He looks for a running room, makes one man miss, scampers forward up over the 45-yard line. Looked like he was going to break that final tackle to get first down yardage, but he was tripped up just at the last moment by Lee Varnell. Number 2, Eric Bryant, was also in there combining on the tackle to bring down Brittle just 3 yards shy of first down yardage. So that's going to bring 4th and 3. The ball rests at the Dragon 47-yard line. 7-6 is your score in favor of Clinton, and the Dragons will be in punt formation on 4th and 3 at their own 47-yard line. And there is a momentary timeout. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe an injury on the play.
We were going for it on 4th.
All righty, it certainly appears so. Jones is still in there. Jones is still in there at quarterback. So it's 4th and 3 at the Dragon 47-yard line. The Dragons own the ball. They also own the lead. 7-6 is your score. The Dragons indeed are going for it out of the power I formation, facing a 5-man defensive front. And whistle on the play, and flags come flying, and it's going to be a 5-yard step-off, illegal procedure, or maybe delay of game. Delay of game against the Dragons. Delay of game. So that's going to be a 5-yard step-off back to the 42-yard line. So that will change the minds of the Dragons. Instead of going for it on 4th and 3, they will be 4th and 8, and they will be in punt formation this time.
That's surprising call. You know, you would assume he's trying to draw them off sides and everything, but, you know, we're sitting on our side of the field. If they jump off sides there, you've got big problems.
The punt is away. It is a spiral downfield, and it's going to be collected at the 25-yard line. That is number 1. That is Tez Davis, and he is hit hard right as he receives the punt, and that is Sean Smith there on the excellent punt coverage for the Clinton Dragons, and the return is basically no return at all. He caught the ball on about the 24-yard line, and that is exactly where he was nailed by Sean Smith. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders at that point. They have the ball on their own 24-yard line. 7-6 is your score. The Dragons have a surprising 1-point advantage here with 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in this first period. Hand off to the man up the middle. That is going to be number, let's check that. I believe that is Thompson who powers his way forward. Yes, indeed. That is Thompson carrying forward. He gains about 4 yards on that first down attempt, and Jordan Holbrook is there to make the stick for the Dragons. So a 4-yard pickup. Let's call it 3. 3-yard pickup there for the Blue Raiders on first down. 2nd and 7. The ball rests at the Dragon, I should say, at the Blue Raider 26-yard line. 5.5 minutes left in this first half. In the wing T formation, hand off to Hickey. He looks for running room along the near side, and he is up over the 30-yard line near first down yardage. And a duo of Dragon defenders there to make the stop. One of them, of course, being Brian Fox, and the other one, I believe it, and there was Sean Smith as well. And it's going to be close to first down yardage, and they say, indeed it is. 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders.
Jim, it looks like our defensive end needs to do, maybe needs to get upfield just a little bit more. Of course, I don't know how they've got him running, and I'm sure they're trying to keep him inside. But now, you know, we can't allow him to, you know, to overpower us. They're going to have to take that, and they did a great job then to stop the ball at line of scrimmage.
On the first down play, a handoff from the wing T formation to Demetrius Smith. He tries the left side. He nudges the ball up over the 35-yard line. Brian Fox is there to make the tackle along with Michael Severs for the Dragons. A 2-yard pickup. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 8. 7-6 is your score in favor of the Dragons. but the Blue Raiders have the ball 2nd and 8. A reverse play to Dante Hickey, and he makes a couple of Dragons miss as he scampers his way forward close to the, I believe that's the 40-yard line. Yes, indeed, it is the 40, and the field is not marked off very well at all. The markings on the field are somewhat dim, and we're struggling to see where the ball is spotted. The tackle was made by Brandy Culvert of the Dragons. 3rd and a long 2 for the Blue Raiders. The ball is at the Blue Raider 41-yard line. 7-6 is your score in favor of Clinton. Wing T formation. Dante Hickey on the near side. He powers his way up over the 45. Scampers forward, and no, they're going to say he was down. He did fumble the ball, but they're going to say his knee was down before Hickey fumbled. So the Blue Raiders will retain possession. Also, he picked up enough yardage for 1st down, Blue Raiders. That is at the Blue Raider 46-yard line. Yes, indeed, 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, their own 46, back to the wing T formation. And off to Hickey. No, the quarterback keeps. He's up over midfield and into Dragon territory down to the Dragon 46-yard line. The tackle was made by Brian Fox on a nicely executed, deceptively handled play there, Philip.
Of course, that's the big thing about the wing T is the better your quarterback is at being deceptive, the more dynamic this entire offense is. And when you've got athletes like the Thompson boy and like Dante Hickey, you've got to guard against him, and that quarterback's no slouch.
Tez Davis, he heads to the first man up the middle. That is Carlos Thompson, and he's going to have enough yardage for the 1st down as he gets down near the Dragon 40-yard line. The tackle is made by Brian Fox, who's been in on a buku of tackles already in this game. 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders inside the Dragon 40-yard line. 7-6 is your score. We've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half, and the Blue Raiders are on the roll here. 1st and 10 at the Clinton 39-yard line. Tez Davis is your quarterback, rolling out to his left under heavy pressure, and he is going to be sacked. He tries to get the pass off. Let's see if it's ruled in the grasp or an incomplete pass. And let's see how they're going to rule it, and they're going to rule it an incomplete pass. And he was just absolutely smothered there by the Dragons. He managed to flick the ball forward about 5 yards, but there was no Blue Raider in the neighborhood, and it could have been called intentional grounding. No call on the play, but nevertheless, it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 on that incomplete pass. Tez Davis is your quarterback. A reverse to Dante Hickey. He's in the Dragons secondary. He scampers forward, making Dragons miss inside the 30 down to the 25, inside the Dragon 20-yard line. And you can see the rare combination of speed and power that Dante Hickey possesses. The tackle was made by Walt Blankenship of the Dragons, but Hickey is big man. We don't know exactly. I'd say he's probably 6'1 or 6'2 and about 210, and he has speed to burn, so he had a rare combination of speed and power. He is an outstanding athlete. 1st and 10, and the pitch goes to Hickey, and he makes a move at the point of attack, but the Dragons defend him well, and that is, let's check that. That is Brian Fox along with Brian Hatmaker in there for the Dragons. He picks up about 3 yards on that 1st down attempt. 2nd and 7, the ball rests at the Dragons 16-yard line. Dragons 7, the Blue Raiders 6. 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this first half.
Fine job that time by Brian Hatmaker, standing out there and taking that blocker on and holding his position, and so that Hickey had to go inside to our linebackers. Good job.
Thompson on the carry. He angles forward up over left tackle, and he powers the ball. It looks like inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. Let's see where they line it up. They finally line it up at the 10. The tackle was made by Brandy Culvert of the Dragons. It's going to bring up 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 for the Blue Raiders. The ball rests at the Dragon 11-yard line, and the Blue Raiders face a 1-point deficit, but they are in scoring position with 1 minute exactly left in this ball game. Dante Hickey takes the handoff, and he is hit in the backfield. That is Sean Smith penetrating in there and knocking Dante Hickey down. Also in there was Brian Fox, and they smelled that play from the word go. A 4-yard loss on that 3rd and 1 play, and the Dragon defenders rise to the occasion. A timeout has been asked for by the Dragons. We'll take a 30-second timeout. 7-6 is your score in favor of Clinton. Back in 30 seconds.
That was a gutsy call. We sent a line back.
Back here at Cleveland High School, it is 4th and 5 for the Blue Raiders, and they're going to be attempting a field goal. The ball will be spotted at the 20, so it's going to be a 30-yard field goal attempt, and it is angling its way downfield, and it splits the upright. So at the 47-second mark of the second period, a 3-point field goal for the Blue Raiders, and that gives them their first advantage of the ball game. 9-7 is your score. This is AM 1380. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Game against the #1 ranked Cleveland Blue Raiders, and Cordero is set to kick off, and it's ending its way downfield, and it is collected at the 10, up over the 15 to the 20-yard line. That is Haluma angling his way forward to the 25 to the 30, where he is run out of bounds by a bevy of Blue Raiders. 39 seconds left in this first half. Number 3, that is Jones, makes the tackle for the Blue Raiders. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. 39 seconds left in this first half. 9-7 is your score. They're going to spot it at the Clinton 32-yard line.
Do we have a penalty, Jim?
There's
some discussion, but I don't know what. Yeah, there is. They're moving it. So
the tackle was made on the near sidelines, and the Clinton players blocked our view on the near sideline, and we didn't see the flag. So obviously a flag was thrown, and a 15-yard step-off has been assessed against the Blue Raiders. We're awaiting a signal from the referee as to what the infraction was. Must have been a personal foul on a 15-yard step-off, so that's going to give the Dragons 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. 35 seconds left in this first half. Back to pass is Jones. He rifles the pass downfield. That is complete to Matthew McGee at the 41-yard line. Good pitch, good catch by the Dragon duo. The quarterback Jones there hitting Matthew McGee on a little down and out, so it's going to be 1st and 10 on that 12-yard pickup. We've got 29 seconds left, and McGee stepped out of bounds, so the clock has been stopped. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders, but the Dragons have 29 seconds left in this first half to try to negate some more yardage. The ball is at the Blue Raider 41-yard line. And a penalty is going to be called
on our band.
Let's see. A discussion is ensuing. I didn't see an infraction, but the officials have collected themselves and are discussing what the call will be. But the referee there dropped the penalty, and there's the discussion is ensuing. So they're picking up the penalty, waving it off. So there is no penalty. There is no penalty. 9-7 is your score. 1st and 10 on the Blue Raider 41-yard line for the Dragons. Power I formation, Clinton. Your quarterback is Brennan Jones. Back to pass, Jones, and it is downfield in the hook and lateral play. The hook and lateral play to Brittle. The pass was complete, I believe, to Matthew McGee, and he lateraled to Jeremy Brittle, and he knocks the ball down inside the 35-yard line, and he is knocked out of bounds. That is a 7-yard pickup, but that was so well executed. That is so well executed. 20 seconds left in this first half. 9-7 is your score, and timeout has been asked for by the Dragons. We'll take a 30-second timeout, telling you 9-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. Back in 30 seconds. At the Blue Raider 34-yard line, the Dragons lining themselves up in the I formation. And back to pass, rolling out to his left is Jones under heavy pressure, rifles the ball downfield, and it is incomplete. The receiver went high in the air, tried to make the circuit catch. That is Matthew McGee tried to go up and snag the ball down, but it was just ever so slightly overthrown. Goes skittering to the turf, incomplete. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Dragons on the Blue Raider 34-yard line. We've got 13 seconds left in this first half. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders.
Nice pass. You know, he was under a lot of pressure there, and that was a good job of getting it off, and a good athletic move by Matthew McGee just to try to get to the ball.
All righty, four-man defensive front handoff, Haluma, and he goes up the middle inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. We're down under 10 seconds, but he picks up first down yardage, so the clock stops while they move the chains, and the Dragons have asked for timeout. 8 seconds left in this first half. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Telling you, 9-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. Back in 30 seconds.
Need me to call a play or anything while we're here?
7.
Need me to call a play or anything? Okay. Kick a field goal.
37-yard field goal attempt by Brennan.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
With 8 seconds left on the clock, the Dragons are going to attempt what appears to be about a 37-yard field goal that's angling its way downfield, and it is no good. Just wide to the left, had plenty of distance, but just to the left side of that upright. So on the field goal attempt that is wide to the left, we've got 3 seconds left in this first half. The score remains Cleveland Blue Raiders 9, Clinton Dragons 7, 3 seconds left, but the Dragons look good in their 2-minute drill. They moved the ball downfield, had the chance to kick a long field goal, 37-yard field goal. That is a long field goal for a high school boy. Had plenty of distance, but just to the left. But the Dragons have made a good account of themselves in this first half against the #1 ranked team in the state of Tennessee in Class 4A. 9-7 is your score. We've got 3 ticks left, and the Blue Raiders have the ball, and they're going to run one play, and that'll be the end of the half. Back to pass. Tez Davis, he rifles a long pass downfield, and it's going to be far overthrown, intended for Hickey. So that's going to be the end of the first half here in Bradley County. Cleveland Blue Raiders 9, Clinton Dragons 7. Here at the end of the first half, this is AM 1380, WYSH, your voice for sports in Anderson County. We'll take a 4-minute timeout. And it is picked up. Actually, it is corralled by number 2. That's Eric Bryant, and he goes down to get the kickoff, and his knee was on the ground, so he is going to be spotted down there. So that was right at the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders on their own 25-yard line. 9-7 is your score. Your quarterback for the Blue Raiders is Tez Davis. Your fullback is Carlos Thompson. And your tailback is Dante Hickey. They come out in split back formation, wing T situation. Tez Davis hands off to Thompson. He edges forward a couple of yards on the play. Sean Smith in there along with Gary Whitley on the tackle for the Dragons. A minimal gain on that first down attempt. Give him but 1 yard, so 2nd and 9 as he edges the ball out to the 26-yard line of the Blue Raiders. Randy Calvert was also in there for the Dragons. 9-7 is your score.
Got it. Typical, Jim, as we mentioned before, a defensive end has got to turn that play inside, as you alluded to. Brandy Calvert's defensive end turned it right in there where it has to be.
And off to Hickey on the reverse. That is number 8, Demetrius Smith, and is diagnosed well by the Dragons. The folks on the right side of the defense stayed home, were able to nail him to the turf. Let's check and see who that Dragon was. Was that Ernest Scruggs was in there for the Dragons, and you have to play disciplined defense when you face the wing T, Doctor.
Absolutely. You step out of your lane, and you're going to be awfully lucky if it doesn't cost you big yardage. You've got to stay right in position and keep driving the people back into the middle of the field.
3rd and 7. The ball rests at the Blue Raider 37-yard line. A draw play, and that is to Thompson, and he's up over the 30-yard line. Going to be close to first down yardage, but it looks like he's going to come up a couple of yards short. Sean Smith was there on the tackle, along with, it looks like Jordan Holbrook there for the Dragons, but it's about 3 yards short of the yardage necessary for a first down, so 3 downs and out. And if you're a Dragon fan sitting in Anderson County, you've got to let out a cheer. 3 downs and out for the Blue Raiders. They're going to be in punt formation, and that is, I believe, Joe Cordero back there to do the honors for the Blue Raiders. Back deep is Matthew McGee, and he hits a wobbly spiral, and a fair catch is asked for and made by Matthew McGee at the 35-yard line. Call it the 36. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons on their own 36-yard line. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders, but the Dragons get their first chance offensively in this 3rd period.
Well, now it's time for the Dragons to do what they did before. We've got to take over and have a nice little dominating drive. It'd be awfully nice if we could chew up about 10 minutes and 9 seconds in a drive and score a touchdown.
First and 10 for the Dragons. Back to that power I formation, facing a four-man defensive front. The pitch to the tailback. It's Oliver Haluma. He looks for running room at the point of attack. He hammers up over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. Where number 7, that is Tanel Hudgens, corrals him and tosses him to the turf. Carlos Thompson was also there for the Blue Raiders. A minimal gain. It looked like it was actually more than that. Only 2-yard pickup. Looks like he galloped for more yardage than that, but somewhat deceptive. Let's call it 2nd and 8 for the Dragons at their own 37-yard line. 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in this third period. Back to the power I formation. Double wide receiver set. No, that is one wide receiver to the wide side. Hand off to Brian Fox, and he pounds off right tackle. Gets a couple of yards. Number 16, that is Bain there for the Blue Raiders after a 2-yard pickup for Brian Fox. 3rd and long.
Yeah, Jim, the linebacker did a good job of standing up in the hole that time, and we didn't catch him in the block. Excellent job of coming forward. Now's the time, as you mentioned, to probably come back with a slant. Drop something over the top of his linebackers' heads.
3rd and 6, I formation, power I formation. Brennan Jones is your quarterback. A pass that is complete to Alan Wink over midfield into Blue Raider territory. And Doctor, you nailed that one. You said slant. That's exactly what they did. Dante Hickey makes the tackle for the Blue Raiders, but a well-thrown ball from Brennan Jones, the sophomore quarterback, left-handed it out there, right in the numbers of your son, Alan Wink. Alan made the catch and galloped on into Blue Raider territory. 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
Well, that's what you got to do, because if you don't, Jim, as you mentioned, they walk that 5-man line up there and put those linebackers so close that we can't run.
Back to the I formation now, and it looks like it's going to be a reverse to Stewart, and the Blue Raiders are all over him. In there first was number 16, Bain. Also there was number 77, Constant, and Stewart on the wingback reverse, and the Blue Raiders were not fooled at all. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. I'll call it, actually they're going to mark it right at the line of scrimmage. Looks like he lost a little bit of yardage, but he made his way back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they spelled that one out pretty well, Jim. You know, a little bit of that is to try and run deceptively, and of course we're almost doing what they do, except we're doing it out of the power I, and they play it well.
Once again, back to the power I, 2nd and 10 for the Dragons. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders, and our flags fly all over the field, and it looks like it's going to be a step-off against the Blue Raiders. That's at least what the Dragons say. Let's see what the referees say. Yes, indeed, it's going to be a 5-yard step-off against the Blue Raiders. That's going to be offsides. So instead of 2nd and long for the Dragons, it's going to be 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5 for the Dragons, and the ball rests at the Blue Raider 43-yard line. 9-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland.
Jim, that team is so quick that they're going to try and jump into gaps. If they can jump into gaps on you, we were in trouble. But good job by McGaha holding his position, letting the encroachment occur.
Power I formation, handoff to Brian Fox. He angles off the right guard, and he powers forward inside the 40 and pounds his way down to about the 37-yard line. Going to be close to yardage necessary for 1st down. Dante Hickey was there to toss him to the turf. They're going to line it up and see if it is enough yardage for a 1st down. And it looks like they're going to bring the chains in. So it's going to be a measurement. Let's take a 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout. AM 1380 WYSH back in 30 seconds. Dragons. So the Dragons trailing 9-7 have the ball 1st and 10 on the Blue Raider 37-yard line. Back to the power I formation for Clinton. Handoff to Stewart. He hammers inside, gets a couple of hard-earned yards there. Number 4, Carlos Thompson, was there on the tackle for the Blue Raiders. He hammers it down close to the 35-yard line. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders. 6.5 minutes left in the third period.
You know, Tommy Thompson is in there leading that play. Again, Jim, I'd say total weight, Tommy Thompson carries in there, about 145, 150 pounds, and he's throwing some pretty good blocks in there, and he's getting at the knees of some of those linebackers. And when that happens, you're going to get 3 and 4 yards. That's what you got to have.
2nd and a long 7. Let's call it 8. 2nd and 8 for the Dragons. Handoff off left tackle. That's the Clinton ball carrier. Let's check and see who the ball carrier was. I'm not sure. I didn't pick it up. It was Brian Fox trying the left side. Got a couple of yards, but not too much there. It's going to be 3rd and long. They give him 3-yard pickup. So 3rd and let's call it 6. 3rd and 6 inside the Blue Raider 35-yard line. 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
a good inside run. Now, they're going to be expecting probably the slant this time. This may be a pretty good time, for us to throw an out pattern, something out here to Mr. McGee.
Power I formation once again on 3rd and 5 for the Dragons. Back to pass. Wide receiver screen set up. Actually, it was a little hook pattern intended for Matthew McGee, and it is batted down by one of the Blue Raiders. Well defended there as quarterback Jones backed out and intended the pass for McGee. It was batted down by Demetrius Smith of the Blue Raiders.
Didn't you think that was a good play? He gets that ball up about another foot, and McGee is wide open for the first down. He's not going to make big yardage, but he's going to move the chains.
4th down.
Or the reins.
Or the chain, something like that. Something like they're going to move something. 4th and 4. I'm sorry, 4th and 5 for the Dragons, and they're going to go for it. The ball is on the Blue Raider 37. 4th and 4. Back to pass is Jones. Rifles the pass downfield, and it is going to be, let's see, it batted around there. They finally rule it incomplete. It was incomplete, and it looked like number 7 for the Blue Raiders, Hudgens, had an interception, but then finally one of the Dragons came there, and it looked like he had a chance to take it away from him, but the ball goes flittering to the turf, batted around everywhere. So on the 4th down attempt, incomplete pass, the ball goes over to the Blue Raiders.
Let's credit Coach Gaylor with taking some chances right there. Brennan had to throw. He threw it inside, and tight end nearly came up with the ball, so fine job.
1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders. Back to pass is Davis. He rifles the pass downfield, and it is complete at the 40-yard line. Let's check and see who the receiver was. That was number 8. That is Demetrius Smith. They'll check that Aaron Bryant was the receiver there. And it's going to be a 7-yard pickup. They spotted at the Blue Raider 41-yard line. And it's going to be 2nd and 3.
I thought Hatmaker knocked that ball loose over there. He hit him, and the boy did a good job of recovering. Fine job.
Wing T formation for the Blue Raiders. Hand off to Hickey. He looking for running room on the near side. Brian Fox chases him down from behind, but not before Hickey picks up 1st down yardage, edges it out over the 45-yard line, powers it on down to out to the 46. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders, and the Blue Raiders are starting to flex their muscles. That running game is so powerful. It's only a matter of time if that Blue Raider offense stays on the field. They are tough to contain. 1st and 10 for Cleveland on their own 46-yard line. 9-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. Wing T formation once again. Hand off to Hickey. He dances and prances forward for about 4 yards. Let's see who the tackler was there for the Dragons. Number 56, Brandy Colbert was there.
It's still a good play because Hickey did a good job of bouncing around. We really had him hit at the line of scrimmage. So we're holding our positions, and as you mentioned, one of the keys in defensing this wing tee is to not step out of your lanes. You've got to stay in there in those lanes, and Colbert was there. We just didn't knock him down when we hit him.
2nd and 6 for the Blue Raiders. The ball is just over the midfield stripe. Hand off to first man through. That's Carlos Thompson. He's churning downfield inside the 40, inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the Dragon 10-yard line. And the first man through got the handoff, and that was Carlos Thompson. He is finally run down by Walt Blankenship, but he just spurted downfield on that quick-hitting play, and the Blue Raiders strike for a big gain all the way down inside the Dragon 10. They line it up at 1st and goal at the Dragon 7-yard line.
Big power. You know, that boy wasn't going to go down because somebody stuck their arm out there.
Let's see what the Blue Raiders come up with here. They come out in the wing T formation. The referees say the Dragons have asked for time, so timeout for the Dragons. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. 9-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. Back in 1 minute. Here's from the Clinton 7. Dante Hickey tries to make the first Dragon miss, but he hangs on. That he is Sean Smith, who came angling up from the defensive backfield and made the tackle on Dante Hickey, and he had him by a shoestring.
He did a good job of holding on. I believe we're probably going to be pretty much giving them a pass and assume that they're going to use that big power that they have, and so we're going to put everybody up on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and goal at the Dragon 4. 9-7 is your score in favor of the Dragons. Carlos Thompson trying to bounce outside, and he is going to be hit down for a loss. The first Dragon in there, I believe, was, let's check that, that's Brian Hatmaker who finally made the tackle, but one of the Dragon defenders blitzed in there, penetrated, and disrupted the flow of the play. And let's check that may have been Brandy Colbert in there, but outstanding play once Colbert got in there.
Yeah, it was, and he forced him. He slowed him down enough for us to pursue and make a contact and bring him down.
3rd and goal from the Dragon 5-yard line. Hickey gets the pitch, and he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland Blue Raiders, and it just looked like he would not be denied. Hickey took the pitch, and he danced and he darted for that 5 yards and into the Dragon end zone. So the second touchdown of the evening goes on the board for the Blue Raiders. They increase their margin to 15-7 at the 2:40 mark of the 3rd period.
You know, that was not only was it a nice move, he showed that kind of power he has. Once he hit that corner, I don't think we had enough people out there to stop him, because man, he hit that thing going full speed. Gonna go. I think they're kicking. I thought maybe they might go for 2.
Partially blocked. The extra point is no good, as it was partially blocked by one of the Dragons. I believe that was probably Brian Fox that got in there and got a hand on it. So the extra point is no good. So that means the score stays at 15-7. This is AM 1380 WYSH. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Joe Cordero is there to kick off for Cleveland. Back deep is Haluma for the Dragons. The kick end over ending its way downfield, picked up by an up man at the 15 up to the 20 to the 25-yard line. And I believe that ball carrier may have been Sean Smith. We'll pick it up. He was finally corralled down there by number 15 of the Blue Raiders, and that is Marcus Donahue, if I don't butcher that name up too tough.
They've got some names that are I've been waiting on you to do this boy right here, Jim, number 27.
I'm going to dodge that one all game long.
I've got to figure he's not even going to play as far as we're concerned. So
2:27 left in the 3rd period. 15-7 is your score. The Dragons are down by 8. They own the ball 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line. And stick to that power I formation. Your quarterback is Brennan Jones. Back to pass is Jones. No, he hands off on the draw play to Haluma. He dances forward, but doesn't get much yardage on that draw play. Really held to about a half-a-yard gain. Big number 81 was there for the Blue Raiders. That is Abu Swafford, carousing him and throwing him to the turf, so they actually don't give him any yardage on that 1st down attempt. 2nd and 10.
Too much bouncing around, I thought, Jim, didn't you? I thought the one thing we did better in the first half than we did just then is when we got to the corner and it didn't look like we were going to get much, we lowered our head, turned our shoulders upfield, and ran. And that time we were doing a lot of bounce around. We don't have enough speed to bounce around with this team.
3rd period winding down. A minute and a half left to go in the 3rd period. 15-7 is your score. Rolling out to his left is Jones, and he decides to keep the ball. He angles it up to the 30-yard line, about 3 yards short of the 1st down marker. So that's going to bring up 3rd and about 3, maybe 4. But Jones was looking to pass, Doctor, but didn't find anybody open downfield.
You know, and a good job of recovering, because they had a defensive man that they blitzed. They blitzed linebacker into that, and he stepped around him. They had a nice block from the tackle, and I think Gary Whitley picked him up right there and allowed Brennan to do a good job of running. Brennan's physical. He can run with the ball.
3rd and 3 from the Clinton 32-yard line. And off to Haluma, and he pounds forward for the left yardage for the Clinton 1st down as the Clinton faithful below roar their approval. 1st and 10 for the Clinton Dragons as he rams the ball out to the Clinton 37-yard line, and they move the chains.
Hold on to the reins and move the chains.
50 seconds left in this 3rd period. 15-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. That is a one-possession game because you can, of course, get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That would tie up the score. And an official timeout has been asked for.
We've got a penalty. I think we've encroached on that line down there. I think our players have gone beyond the line, and I think it's going to cost us.
Let's see if that is going to cost us. I believe they have been warned. And what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is the Dragons along the sideline, not in the ball game, but the Dragons along the sideline have been standing too close to the field itself. They have to be at least 2 yards off the field. They've been warned once. They were caught again by being too close to the field, and they're going to be whistled for a 5-yard step off. So that's going to take the ball back down to the Dragon 34-yard line. So it's 1st and 15 for the Dragons, and a needless penalty. Let's see if the Dragons can overcome that. Handoff for the power I formation. That's Ali Haluma, and he is ransacked as he hits the line of scrimmage. A bevy of Blue Raiders led by Demetrius Bryant there, and no yardage at all. That was a tough attempt there by Ali Haluma. He got pounded.
He did, and of course, they're anticipating off that power eye that we're going to run in behind that behind our lead blocker, who has been Tommy Thomason a great deal of the time. But Jim, that surprises me. That call doesn't really enter into much of the activity of the game. Our boys not standing right on the sidelines.
Time has expired in the third canto here at Cleveland High School, so we're through 3. Your score is 15-7 in favor of the Blue Raiders. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Cleveland High School, 2nd and 13. And Stephen, clarify that penalty for us.
All right, we thought it was, the violation was 2-yard stripe, but what the official said was when Clinton come up the line of scrimmage, Brian Fox went completely off the field, so thereby that's encroached.
All righty, 2nd and 13 for the Dragons out of the power I formation. Back to pass is Jones. He lofts a pass deep downfield, intending for Matthew McGee. He is well covered by number 2, Bryant. He had him one-on-one, but Bryant was in his hip pocket, so Jones lofts the ball downfield, incomplete, so that's going to bring up 3rd and 13. The Dragons, facing a 8-point deficit, have the ball 3rd and 13 on their own 35-yard line.
I think Brennan's got to look for, well, not Brennan. Brennan doesn't make that call. The call's made for him. But I think we got to look for more like a 7 and 8 and 6-yard passes rather. Of course, now obviously we got to look for a 13-yard pass. But I think it's a situation, Jim, where we've got to look for passes that he can hit quick open. We're not going to outrun these boys.
Back to the power I formation for the Dragons, facing a 4-man defensive front from the Blue Raiders. Back to pass is Jones. He lofts the pass downfield. That is incomplete. A slant pattern from Matthew McGee, and it was hit there by Hudgens. It looks like he had a chance for an interception, but the ball is incomplete, so 4th and long.
We had one receiver on that thing, and Brennan never looked away from him. From the time he took the snap, he was looking at him, and he's really lucky that Mr. Hudgens isn't down there prancing in the end zone.
4th and long for the Dragons. The ball is at the Dragon 35-yard line. Let's call it the 36. They are in punt formation. 15-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. The punt is away, almost blocked. A spiral downfield that is going to go take a Clinton bounce. It hits at the 30 and goes bounding inside the 25, inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Let's take a 30-second timeout, telling you this is your Voice for Sports, back in 30 seconds. 1st and 10, Blue Raiders. The handoff goes up the middle, and he comes powering forward. He gets close to the yardage necessary for first down. Let's pick up who that ball carrier was. I believe that was probably Thompson. And let's line it up. It's going to be a 9-yard pickup, it looks like. 2nd and 1 for the Blue Raiders on that first down. Quick hitter up the middle. The Blue Raiders are powering it up in there. Sean Smith, the defensive backfield, finally pulled him down.
And that's not a good sign when Sean Smith's having to make tackles and not really attacking. He's standing back there waiting to make that tackle because that boy had kind of run over our offensive lineman. It looks like we're going to have a measurement. Let's throw in, we want to...
And a foot to go for the Blue Raiders. 15-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. The ball rests at the Blue Raider 27-yard line, 2nd and short. Let's see if this is a waste down for Cleveland.
I'd sure turn it upfield, let some of that speed run up the field. Of course, they may be anticipating that too. We're stacked on the line of scrimmage expecting it.
And off to Hickey, and he's hit in the backfield, but he carries a couple of Dragons for what looks to be enough yardage for the first down as he edges it up close to the 30-yard line. And the tackle was made by a couple of Dragon defenders, including Jordan Holbrook and Craig Stinnett as well. All right, we've got 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in his 4th and final period. And I'm not sure if he made enough yardage or not. They're still marking it. And as they finally mark it, they say he was dragged down before he got yardage necessary for a first down. So that's going to be 3rd and short, or are they going to bring the chains in? No, they're going to bring the chains across the field. I saw the yard marker on the near side flip over to 3rd down, so I assumed it was 3rd. But they threw me a curve and pulled the chains across the field. So we'll see. We'll see. It is enough yardage for the first down by the nose of the football. So 1st and 10, Blue Raiders. 15-7 is your score. This high-powered Blue Raider offense has been held in check pretty much by an outstanding defensive effort by the Clinton Dragons all game long. 1st and 10 for Cleveland on their own 28-yard line. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in this ball game. Wing T formation. Tez Davis hands off to Carlos Thompson. He makes one man miss, and Jordan Holbrook is the second Dragon there as he edges his way up over the 32, about the 32-yard line. Also there was Jordan Holbrook. Is that who you're talking
Woody Hill. I'm
Woody
sorry.
Hill. We're having a little trouble.
The dadgum paper would turn over for me there. I think that in a situation like that, obviously the Dragons had pretty much thrown caution to the wind on the passing game, and they didn't even look that fake off. They were heading in there on that ball.
2nd and 7 on that 3-yard pickup. Wing T formation. Back to pass is Davis rolling out to his right. Looks like he is going to be dodging around there, and he's going to be corralled for a loss. A couple of Dragon defenders in there, and let's see who that was. I believe that was number 44, Tommy Thomason was in there first also. I see Michael Sievers in there. It looked like Davis was going to pull the ball down as he rolled out to his right, but the Dragon defenders hung in there and threw him for a loss.
Did you? I didn't even see a receiver on that side of the field. Maybe there was one, but I never saw a receiver. It appeared to me to be a naked bootleg, and we just said, well, okay, you go over there and we'll see if we can't run you down.
And loss on the play back inside the 30-yard line. So 3rd and 11 for the Blue Raiders. Hand off to Hickey. He dances and prances, looks for yardage. He powers forward up over the 35 to the close to the 40-yard line. It will depend on the spot. It's very close. It's very close, and they are going to give him enough yardage for a first down as he nudges the ball out up to the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10. That was a big play for the Blue Raiders. It was 3rd and long. The Dragons couldn't hold him. They run on 3rd and long. They pick it up. Dante Hickey is quite a back. He is an awesome athlete. We're now inside 8.5 minutes left in this ball game. 15-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. On the first down attempt, the flags fly. It looks like we're going to have a 5-yard step off, probably against the Blue Raiders. It looks like illegal procedure.
I thought it looked like they moved, Jim. I agree with you. Yeah, and that was the call. So we'll back them up 5. Dante Hickey is a nice combination of power and speed. We've seen some really good backs, but I think that, in my opinion, he's the best we've seen this year, individual back.
I think so. Mikael Smith has a lot of speed, but he doesn't have Hickey's power. And he is cut in the mold of like a Bo Jackson. I'm not comparing him to his talent level, but he's got that speed and the power as well. 1st and 15 for the Blue Raiders, and they are hammered right at the line of scrimmage. That is Carlos Thompson on the carry, and in there is Walt Blankenship to toss him to the turf. And that's going to be no gain at all, so it remains 2nd and 15 to go for the Blue Raiders. The ball is at the Blue Raiders 35.
Looks like we're, again, I hope people can watch this on a replay, because we're doing what people have done to us all year. We're just walking everybody we got up on the line of scrimmage and really just going one-on-one, man-to-man coverage.
Back to pass is Davis. Under heavy pressure, he rifles the ball downfield, and it is errant. It was intended for Hickey, but he had a little opening there, but the pass was behind him. So on that incomplete pass, we'll have a 3rd and 15. The ball rests at the Blue Raider 35. They're going to have to go up to midfield to get the first down. So this is a big play for the Dragons. 3rd and 15. We've got 7 minutes and 40 seconds left, Doctor, and the Dragons have to hold here to get the ball back.
Yeah, they do, and what they've got to do is stay close to any outside receivers and try and hit Dante Hickey right in the backfield. You've got to cover him up as soon as the play starts.
3 wide receivers. Back to pass is Thompson. He rifles the pass up for a knifing Hickey, and it is incomplete. The pass is errantly tossed, so the Dragon defenders hold, and it's 4th and long, and the Dragon defenders, or the Dragon team, I should say, down 15-7, are going to get the ball back in relatively good field position. And 4th and 15, and the Blue Raiders will be in punt formation. Let's see who's back there. You were telling me number 24, Chad Brantley, will be the punter for the Blue Raiders. Back deep is Matthew McGee for Clinton. And the punt is partially blocked. The Dragons get a hand on it, and it bounds forward up over the 45, close to midfield. It remains in Blue Raider territory. So a big block. I believe that was Scotty Harrell, who blitzed in there, penetrated the blocking front wall of the Blue Raiders, got a hand on the punt, didn't block it completely. It's still bound forward. up to the 49-yard line of the Blue Raiders, but great field position for the Dragons. They've got the opportunity they need.
And, and they've got the team to do it. They can line up and go with this team. I think it's a good time to mix your plays up a little bit, though.
First and 10 from the power I for the Dragons. And off to Haluma. He pounds his way forward, scampers for a couple of yards. Now check that. That's Tommy Thomason on the carry. Number 4 corralled him after his gain. That's Carlos Thompson. They give him picked up yardage down to the 45-yard line, so that's going to bring up 2nd and 7. We're inside 7 minutes in this game. We want to remind you, 15-7 is your score. It's a one-possession game. Touchdown and two-point conversion ties this game up. The Dragons are standing toe-to-toe to the number 1 team in the state. Whistles fly, and actually the Dragons want to call timeout, so the Dragons ask for timeout. This is AM 1380, your voice for sports in Anderson County. We'll be back in 30 seconds. High school, 15-7 is your score. 6:38 left in this 4th and final period. And the Dragons own the ball at the Blue Raider 45-yard line. Hand off to the second man through. Let's check and see who the ball carrier was. He pounds forward for about a 5-yard pickup before he is nailed to the turf by number 77, Constance. And Craig Stewart, I believe Craig Stewart was the ball carrier. It's going to a 5-yard pickup down to the 41-yard line of the Blue Raiders. 3rd and a long 2 for the Dragons. Big down. We're approaching 6 minutes left in this ball game. The Dragons have to convert here. Actually, 2-down territory.
Well, I agree with you. Coach Gaylor showed us that he's going on 4 downs in this game. Nothing to lose. That's what you got to do.
Power I formation for the Dragons. Split to the wide to the right is McGee. Hand off to the tailback, and he hits forward for a couple of yards. I believe it's going to be a little bit shy of the first down marker. Let's check and see who the ball carrier was. That, I believe, was Tommy Thompson. He is hit down by Tamel Hudgens just inside the Blue Raider 40-yard line, and it's going to bring up 4th and a yard. The Dragons face 4th and 1 yard to go. We've got 5.5 minutes left in this 4th period. The Dragons own the ball, but they're facing an 8-point deficit. 15-7 is your score in favor of Cleveland. 4th and 1 for the Dragons. Power I formation. 6-man defensive front for the Blue Raiders. And off to Brian Fox, and the senior powers his way off right guard. 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
Let's give some credit to that offensive line. They swapped up there with 8 people on the line of scrimmage, and Gary Whitley and Woody Hill did the job on that side of the line of scrimmage. They just said, we're going to get you 4 yards, and they did the job.
5 minutes and 9 ticks left in this game here at Cleveland High School, where the number 1 ranked team in the state of Tennessee in 4A is being tested severely tonight by our Clinton Dragons. 15-7 is your score. 1st and 10 for the Dragons on the Blue Raider 35-yard line. I formation this time for the Dragons. And off to the standing tailback. That's Ali Haluma. He dances off left guard and meanders his way inside the 35 for a pickup of a couple. Let's check and see. I believe that was number 4. Thompson was bringing in, or Thompson, I should say, brought him down after that 2-yard pickup. So 2nd and 8 for the Dragons inside the 35-yard line of the Blue Raiders.
Again, I think a nice little quick pass would do a little bit, because they were jumping up in those holes pretty hard on us that time, Jim. Might be a good time to throw a pass outside out there to McGee.
The clock continues to run. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in this ballgame. Power I formation. And handoff on the misdirection play to Brian Fox, and he is nailed right at the line of scrimmage. No gain at all on that 2nd down attempt, so it's going to bring up 3rd and long for Clinton. Inside 4 minutes in this ball game left. 15-7 is your score. The tackle was made by Lee Varnell of the Blue Raiders. The ball rests just inside the Blue Raider 35. What's your call, Doctor?
Well, my call was what I would have done last time. I'd have thrown the ball. I've got to question our ability to run real well here, because they're stacking 8 men on the line of scrimmage. We seem to have had a little discussion with the official that time. I noticed that a head went down pretty fast on that, and I think somebody was anticipating there may have been a little face mask on that job. Timeout, Cleveland.
Yes, timeout Cleveland. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in this ball game. This is your voice for sports, AM 1380. We'll be back in 1 minute. 3rd and 7 for the Dragons from the Blue Raider 35-yard line. Pitch to Haluma. He edges the ball inside the 35, down close to the 30-yard line. Check that. Was that Haluma or Brittle? Let me see who gets up there. That's Jeremy Brittle on the carry on the pitch to the wide side of the field. He edges the ball down close to the 30-yard line. That is not enough yardage for a first down. The Dragons asked for timeout, so we'll take a 30-second timeout as well. This is your Voice for Sports, AM 1380, back in 30 seconds. Back here at Cleveland High School, 15-7 is your score. 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in this fourth and final period. And the Dragons are basically down to one play in this game. It is 4th and 4. The ball rests on the Cleveland 30-yard line. It's 4th and a short 4 for Clinton. And let's see how the Dragons deploy themselves. Matthew McGee is wide to the left, back to the power I formation for Clinton. And rolling out to his left is Brennan Jones, and he's going to keep it, and he is going to go inside the 25 down to the 20, and he gets enough yardage for the first down and more. They move the chains, they keep the ball. He runs out of bounds to stop the clock. 1st and 10, Clinton Dragons. And Doctor, we haven't said it tonight, the Dragon Wagon is on the move.
I really feel good about saying this. I thought, and Dr. Emmendorfer knows football much better than I do, but I thought our line did a great job of containing that thing. I thought our tight end turned the guy inside, and when he did, then he was running by himself.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Running hard inside is the first man through there. The Dragon back collects, I believe, about a 5-yard pickup. He is hit down. It's Brian Fox, I believe, on the carry. Check that. That is Craig Stewart.
Yes, sir.
Craig Stewart on the carry. Number 7, Tennell Hudgens was there to toss him to the turf, but not before I called out 5 yards. Let's give him 7 yards on that pickup. The ball rests at the Blue Raider 11-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. 2nd and 3 for the Dragons. Back to the power I. Haluma's your standing tailback. Brian Fox gets the carry, powers off the left side, and meanders close to the yardage necessary for a first down. He bangs it inside the 10. And let's see where they line it up. They may have to measure. The clock continues to run. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game. 15 to 7 is your score. It is 1st and 10. The clock is continuing to run, though. The clock is continuing to run. They're supposed to stop it on a marking of the first down, but the clock continues to run. The Dragons have the ball. 1st and goal at the Blue Raiders 7-yard line. We're now inside 2 minutes to go. Back to the power I for the Dragons. The quarterback is Brennan Jones. And a handoff to the ball carrier there, and let's check and see who that was. That was Haluma, and he is hit hard in the backfield, loses 3 yards on that first down attempt. And did you catch the Blue Raider who penetrated in there?
I'll tell you.
Who else? The big man for the Blue Raiders rises to the occasion, makes the big play, so that takes the ball back to the, looks like about the 9-yard line. Let's call it the 10 now. 2nd and goal at the 10. The clock continues to run. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this game. The Dragons have it 2nd and goal at the Blue Raider 10. 15 to 7 is your score in favor of the Blue Raiders. Option to the right, and the pitch goes to Lomer. He has running room inside the 5, inside the 4, inside the 3, down to the 2. He powers his way into the end zone. The Clinton Dragons stun the Blue Raiders at the 105 mark of the fourth period. The option play to the wide side of the field. Ali Haluma takes it the distance.
Do what? Yeah. Our cameraman next door has been asking for an option play. Good job. I thought we did a great job containing that on that side. I think they were anticipating we were going to throw. Here's a key play now. We have to go for 2. We have to make the 2-point conversion in order to tie the game.
All righty, what a barn burner we have, and the pitch is made, and he goes into the end zone. Let's check that is Ollie Haluma. The touchdown score is also the 2-point conversion score, and the Clinton Dragons, along with their fans, are celebrating wildly down below us. At the 105 mark of the fourth period, Doctor, my blood's flowing. We've got a tied game, 15 to 15. AM 1380 WYSH, your voice for sports. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Anderson Countyans, be proud. Your Clinton Dragons have stood toe-to-toe with the #1 ranked team in the state of Tennessee in 4A and have tied the score 15-15 at the 105 mark of the fourth period. The Dragons are set to kick off, and that is Brian Fox doing the honors, and he squibs it downfield, and it's going to be picked up by number 7. That is Tanel Hudgens, up to the 30 to the 35, up close to the 40-yard line. Good return there. The tackle was made by
Number 21, Robbie Graham.
number 21 Graham in there for the tackle, but not before they bring the ball up to the 42-yard line. So let's set the stage here, folks. 59 seconds left in this game. 15 to 15 is your score. Blue Raiders 15, the Dragons 15. The Blue Raiders have it 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. The clock is running. Wing T formation. Handoff to Dante Hickey, and Hickey streaks along the right side, and he's knocked out of bounds as he makes his way into Dragon territory. He's knocked out of bounds, so the clock stops, but not before he picks up enough yardage for 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be at the Dragon 42-yard line. Yes, at the Dragon 42-yard line. The Blue Raiders cross him up. The Dragons expecting a pass. He picks up big yardage on a 1st down run.
Should
15
have
to
attacked him at the
15.
line of scrimmage. Had him hit at the line of scrimmage, Jim.
1st and 10, back to pass is Davis. He's being blitzed, and he is being thrown down. That is Jordan Holbrook on the blitz from his linebacker position. Tackles Davis for a big loss back to midfield. The ball is at midfield. Timeout has been asked for by the Cleveland Blue Raiders. This is your voice for sports, AM 1380 WYSH. We'll be back in 1 minute. Woo! Man, I'm probably
Joe.
Cleveland Blue Raiders have the ball at midfield, 2nd and 18. Back to pass is Davis. He rifles the pass upfield. That it is.
We got the ball.
It is. Yeah, I believe it was complete. It was complete and fumbled. It was complete and fumbled. The Dragons say they have the ball. The
What are you
referees
looking at?
are conferring. The referees are conferring. Let's see what the ruling is going to be. They rule that the receiver made the catch. His knee was down. No fumble, so the Blue Raiders have the ball after the completion. Not enough yardage for the 1st down. It is at the Dragon 35-yard line. 2nd and 3. Let's check that. 3rd and 3 for the Blue Raiders. 3rd and 3. 26 seconds left in this game.
Clock should have already started. We just got
Pass
cheated
out to
a lot of
Dante
time.
Hickey, out to the right side of the field, and he goes out of bounds on the wide receiver screen down to about the 25-yard line. 21 seconds left in this game, and the clock management has not been its best in this game.
That was terrible. That entire time when there was all that stuttering going on, they never started the clock. The officials couldn't make a decision. Now, they should have stopped the clock then, but they should have started the clock. As soon as that referee walked out there, that clock should have been going.
1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders at the Dragon 25-yard line. 21 seconds left in this game. Back to pass is Davis. He rifles the pass. Wide receiver screen out intended for Hickey. It is incomplete. The pass was underthrown. So we've got a 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 for the Blue Raiders to have the ball at the Dragon 25-yard line. The score is tied 15 to 15. We've got 17 ticks left on the clock in this 4th and final period. 2nd and 10, back up to the line of scrimmage, and back to pass is Davis. He rifles the pass out to Hickey. It is complete. He dances forward for about a 5, 6, 7-yard pickup, knocked out of bounds. The clock stops with 12 seconds. 3rd down for the Blue Raiders. Let's see where they spot the ball. It looks to be about the 23-yard line. 23-yard line, 3rd down and 6 to go. 12 seconds left in this ball game.
I got to figure they're setting that ball up for a field goal, don't you, Jim? It looks as though neither one of those. Of course, Hickey can break one at any minute, but that was definitely in that range.
3rd and 6 for the Blue Raiders. Back to pass is Davis, and he rifles the pass overthrown, intending it for a knifing. Check that. I believe that's number 7. That is Hudgens, and it is overthrown, incomplete. So we're down to this, ladies and gentlemen. 4th and 6 for the Blue Raiders. The ball rests at the Dragon 23-yard line. 8 seconds left on the clock. 15 to 15 is your score. The Blue Raiders are setting up for a field goal. It will be put down at the 30. A 40-yard field goal attempt by Joe Cordero. This is for the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is for the game. The snap is good. The Kick is away and is end over ending its way downfield, and it is no good. It is short, but a flag comes flying out from the officials. A flag comes flying out from the officials downfield. Let's check and see what the flag is.
It may have been delayed.
Field goal is no good. 15-15 is your score, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty against the Dragons. Let's check and see. I see the Blue Raiders celebrating across the way. Let's see. Too many players on the field. Too many players on the field. Unbelievable for the Dragons. They had 12 players out there. They got called 15-yard step-off, so that takes the ball. Let's see. There is a penalty. Let's see. That's a 10-yard step-off. It's down to the 13. Down to the 13. They get another chance. The spot is now at the 20. So at the 30-yard field goal attempt for Cordero. The snap is down. The field goal is up. End over ending its way downfield. And it is good on the second attempt. The Cleveland Blue Raiders snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat as time has expired here at Cleveland High School. The Dragons are stunned. The Cleveland Blue Raiders are celebrating across the way. Your final score from Cleveland High School, the Cleveland Blue Raiders maintain their #1 ranking in the state of Tennessee.